Hey, beautiful souls. What's up, everyone? This one is these spiritual messages, these downloads. Divine Spirit really was bringing it. So you may have already seen 2 videos. You may have seen a part 1 or a part 2, right? These things are always something. If it resonates, it does. If it doesn't, leave it for someone else. This is a little bit different than my tarot or any type of any type of channeling messages. But the downloads was spiritual abilities, dreams, spiritual psychosis. All right, so this is a lot's going on, especially with the Schumann resonance of these solar flares and just being initiated June 25th. All of the planets will be lining up, and if people don't think that's not going to affect something on this physical realm, as above so below, then but I know I'm not speaking to a bunch of NPC soulless individuals, right? Highly elevated spiritual beings that I do connect with, or like to feel that I am connecting with. All right, so I'm just going to try to go through this fast so this does not split, because I did have to write all this down. The first thing that came to me, saw this vision of the pineal gland, the third eye, technically called the first eye, with this type of energy. Somebody's third eye being open too quick, right? And that is what can transfer to spiritual psychosis. Spiritual psychosis also somebody with mental illness experimenting with drugs, right? So somebody potentially maybe not aware that they have a mental illness, and then experimenting with recreational or hard drugs, shrooms, edibles, acid, any hallucination type of things can spontaneously open a third eye with a person not intentionally wanting that done, seeing things in the spirit realm that they was not prepared to see, have not actually did that type of work, haven't did their shadow work or their healing. All right, so a lot of that is something that is coming up. A lot of that is something a lot of individuals may be experiencing. So you really want to be careful when you are out and about with these people, individuals not taking medications, seeing you as a light being, seeing you maybe friendly, seeing you smiling, wanting to be in your energy may cross boundaries, right? So first and foremost, we may have to be a little bit more aware, alert, with the earbuds, not looking down at the phone, having some sort of weapon with you, okay? These are just these downloads that I received. All right, so with the dreams, there are the, what is it called? Precognition dreams. So precognition dreams are dreams of foreknowing, foreseeing, seeing a situation before it happens, extrasensory. So that may be a new ability that you are tapping into, astral traveling, maybe something very intentional that you do, and or vivid lucid dreaming. All right, so a lot of that is happening. I did get the downloads of children being experimented as children, especially children that might have been foster children and adopted children, bringing them to doctors and at a very early age, because children, if this is what's resonating, the child having supernatural abilities, having certain abilities and gifts, and maybe in this family, they either tried to make it like this was a coincidence, they tried to tell that child that didn't happen, and or they was jealous of that child because that child had natural abilities that they did not have, where at an early age was bringing them to doctors and getting certain, getting poked with certain things and or medication just so they diagnosed that child as having some sort of bipolar, schizophrenic, but it was because this child actually had natural abilities. All right, so this could be something that you're dreaming about, and it's your memory could have been wiped. Your memory could have been wiped in some sort of way from being a child to now. These abilities now, that even if you are on medication, if you are detoxing and you're healing yourself and you're actually working with your abilities, you're starting to get these memories back of what happened to you as a child. All right, I'm going to try to move along as fast as I can. All right, and there's examples that was given to me. Whether this was a child or not, these are very subtle, supernatural abilities that you have, that you actually can move objects. Now, when I say move objects, I'm not really saying we're literally the objects in front of you and you're moving it, but there's something that was being done, and this might have happened at an early age where you already had a thought of where something particularly was. Let's just, for the sake of it, let's say keys. You saw your keys on the kitchen table. Like everything, you know that's where you put it. Now you go get those keys, they are not there. You are tearing your whole entire house up to go find those keys. You find those keys somewhere else in the strangest place, but because the way you were brought up, or because when things happen to you as a child, an adult told you that didn't really happen, you must have moved it. So a lot of doubt. See, doubt is put on children at an early age, especially when adults are afraid of something, and when adults don't understand something, it is easier for them to tell the child that didn't happen. Now, as you're getting older and you are actually, again, these abilities that you had as a child got cut off some way or another are now being activated again. You moved those keys with your mind for whatever reason. Again, this could be, some people might have said, your spirit guides or a ghost or something is messing with you, and that no, that was you, and that was your own energy. Again, so very subtle ways some of these abilities are showing up. So you have that ability to move something. I don't know what the scientific term or the spiritual term is. That's for you to Google, and that's for you to look up. There's also the ability that you can make things happen, or you've seen things happen later on by drawing and sketching and painting. Again, let's go back. These are things that as a child, and it got overlooked. No one cultivated. We don't go to a school of magic. There's no one that was cultivating us when these things were happening to us at an early age. If we saw spirits, if we heard voices, we had imaginary friends. Could nobody tell me that imaginary friend right there wasn't my friend? Could nobody say that stuffed animal, or I'm going to speak about dolls in a minute, but couldn't nobody say that those wasn't your friends? Could nobody say that those action figures were not your friends? When you was having your imagination and your playtime, a whole nother world you was tapping into. All right, so with drawing and sketching, right, I do automated writing, right? Sometimes even when I'm tapping in, I'll just start doodling, and before you know it, it made some sacred geometry shape pattern or some, or it could just look like a bunch of nothing, but I'm tapping into something using my hand, right? So on the subtle way with drawing, sketching, and painting, you would see something. It could be a year later. You could have drew a child playing by a tree or by a lake. A year later, you see this child that looks very similar to the child that you was painting, climbing a tree or throwing rocks, in the lake or something. But however you drew that sketch, it may not look identical to that child, but that scenery, like the position of where that tree is or where that lake is, you drew that a year ago. That's not a coincidence. So there's an ability that is being tapped in with drawing and sketching. Maybe even when you're getting downloads. Okay, let's keep it moving. Let's see what time we have. Yeah, so I mean, I focused a lot around the drawing, but moving on, levitating in bed, right? Not to where they show in the movies where you go all the way up and you possess. See, a lot of these movies, they purposely, when it came to our abilities, they purposely made it spooky and scary for you to be scared of it. Purposely for you to be scared of it, right? For you to run away from it. But you levitated in bed, and this could literally had just been just like a little I mean just a little off the bed. You woke up and was on the floor. You remember falling on the floor. You woke up with bruises that was not explainable. And in this case, a lot of that type of energy probably didn't tell anybody because you didn't want. There's a lot of paranormal experiences that have happened to a lot of us that we just kept that shit all the way to ourselves because either you knew that you had family that would have got you committed somewhere, or you would have been laughed at, or again, when you brought some things up as a child, it literally got dismissed. So if it's getting dismissed as a child from a family, why would anybody else believe you? Okay? So the levitating in bed, falling off the bed, ending up on the floor, levitating is a supernatural ability that individuals, once they really tap into these energies, these got to be practiced, right? A lot of times this only happened in scary dreams, right? So it could have been a dream of you falling in a dream, or you trying to get away. So some sort of trauma. A lot of times our abilities come out quick when we're in a traumatic situation, or we're in a situation of flight, fight, or freeze, right? This is when because you could be in an energy so scared that you freeze, but you freeze everything around you. And, I know it starts sounding real sci-fi, but where do you think they get these movies from? Where do you think they get the sci-fi movies from? That this is just not coming out of osmosis. Yeah, a big part is imagination, but these are abilities, and these are the abilities that they do not want activated. They don't want it activated with the fluoride in the water and the toothpaste. They don't want it activated with the food that we eat. They don't want it activated in the fog, and they don't want it activated in the chemtrails. They don't want it activated in multiple ways. Things are thrown at us so those things don't activate, but there's no stopping it now. So it don't matter. I don't care what fluoride you drink. This is a mental thing. If you want these things to activate, now if you literally saying I don't want these abilities, if you wholeheartedly think that this is a curse, you don't want nothing to do with it, you probably wouldn't be watching this channel anyway. But you could shut that all the way down and say I don't want it. And then the ones that's abusing it, the ones that knew that they had it but used it for wicked and darkness, those abilities are now being pulled under them, like a rug just being pulled under their feet. So people that could dream, and people that could do mental magic, and people that could mind read and do certain things, and these are like more maybe elite, these people doing high freaking magic. All of this stuff is being pulled away from. They cannot do it anymore. Now it's the ones, like they say, those that last will now be first. There's that whole saying. All right, so there is the reading of the mind. A subtle way of doing that is, okay, so It's real subtle, and somebody would say coincidence. You literally could think what somebody was thinking before they said it. Like you would think it, and like minutes later they would say, "Oh shit, I was just thinking that." That's an ability that could be taken to the next level, right? But not be abused, because you don't want to, you don't want to infringe on, you're not supposed to infringe on people's mind, spirit. You're not supposed to just be invading people's spirits. That's why anytime any readings I do, I ask that person that came to me first, even though they came to me, I ask their higher self permission. Do I have permission to do this reading? There's some people I don't have permission. People will come to me, can I get a reading? And it just don't work. It don't go any further. I'll give them some details. You got to take a spiritual bath. You got to cleanse yourself. And whatever maybe whatever it is, it may be demons, it may not. Whatever it is, I'm not supposed to do it, and I'm totally okay with that, right? So reading of the mind is not a coincidence. Then telepathy is starting to be a big one right now. It's interesting enough, us as melanated people, we kind of always did this with each other. You'd be out somewhere and something going down, or like, especially like women, we could see another woman, she could be a Caucasian woman, and her child acting up, and you and another melanated woman, a sister, we look at each other, won't say a word, but we could do a whole, either a face expression, or we do a whole thing where we both know what we saying about what we saying, right? So melanated people really have a strong, not maybe all skin folk and kinfolk, so I'm not saying everybody, but those that maybe is tapped in, we're gonna start, and it's happening more now. We starting to speak to each other telepathically a lot more. Now, when you were younger, I mean, you might have like a bond with like a sister or a parent. Literally, if something was wrong, you would telepathically get this feeling, and you would call them like, yo, is everything okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm feeling something from you. These are the telepathic abilities that's happening right now. All right, especially if somebody's scared and danger. So then we have the ability. I'm gonna go even faster. Strength. Stronger than, especially a child, like a kid. Like, wait. I know that kid did not just pick that up. And not being cultivated, right? And not having the understanding and the overstanding. Everybody would just be laughing like, oh shit, look at little Pookie. Oh, look how he just picked that up. No, little Pookie got some supernatural strength with him, right? So that's coming back. There's a certain supernatural type of strength. We know that strength when we all heard the story when a car ran over a woman's child, and she with all that adrenaline, she lifted that car and got her baby. Or we hear something where wrestling a bear or something like that to save your child. Those are abilities, right? So the ability of hearing, right? Being able to sit still and damn near you could fucking hear like almost 3 blocks away. I got this hearing ability. I'm already, with the clear cognizant, clear sentient. I'm tapped into the clears, right? But it's also activating it, consciously activating it, not just like, oh my God, can y'all hear that? Nobody else don't hear that train. There's no train around. There's no train tracks, but you hear a train. But there's maybe a train about a mile, 2 blocks down. Nobody else don't hear this train, but you hear this train. So there's a way to, sit, maybe close your eyes and just allow your ears to go as far as it could go. You start hearing like a water drop. You can start hearing a pin drop. It's a way that you could make close sounds kind of stop where you could hear even further. Those abilities, all right? And the ability of sight. So if you are very good with your, I'm going to say this word wrong, peripheral vision. That peripheral vision is extremely strong. That's the spirit realm. I'm going to tell you right now. When you think you saw something in the corner of your eye, if you can sit here and look forward, like right now, I could look in the corner of mine and see all the way back there. that is something. And it's also important to start doing eye exercises. We're not taught to do these eye exercises. You know, we have these electronics in front of us, computers in front of us, blue screens in front of us all day. There are certain eye exercises. Google it, you know, to just start working on the muscles with the eyes. Again, I spoke before, you know, tapping. There's exercises that you guys can actually do, right? So that is sight. There's the heat. There's something with heat, all right? Now, I don't know, there's a fire that's generated inside of you. It's generated in your belly. You literally is somebody that can take your hand, and I don't know if it's because you've been burnt before or got close to being burnt before. You could be frying some chicken and you could take your hand. I mean, you're being safe, but you can take your hand if the way that wing is up and kind of flip that thing over like that was nothing. You can grill, or you can do things around heat and like damn near touch it kind of fast enough that, whoa, that's a power. You generate heat from your hands. Then we got the lightning and electricity. There's, you know, people touch you and they get a jolt from you. You know, you get static. You plug things in. People always try to say, "Oh, that was a coincidence. That was coincidence." We're already magnetic beings, but there's a energy that you can harvest, that you can generate within yourself with the electricity. Maybe all of a sudden, electronics, when you come around certain places, electronics are flickering and lights is going in and out. That ain't no goddamn spirit in your damn house. That's you. So that, again, they try to make things spooky, like stuff is happening in your home, spirits is in your home, ghosts is in your home, demons is in your home. Some individuals, listen, you're going to have to elevate your inner demon and bring your demon up to the light and heal that inner demon, heal that inner child, heal those wounds. So collectively, all of that stuff can start working together. Those abilities can start working together, and they don't take over. You know what I'm saying? They don't take over you. People is worrying about possession, something possessing you. To a degree, you got to give permission to that goddamn shit, okay? Ain't nothing out here possessing you unless you invoking energies to say possess me, but you can possess your own self. There's an alter ego that probably can possess you. Everybody want to make something be external, everything outside, because then it's like, if it's outside of you, then you don't have to take accountability. So there are a lot of things going on with receptors. You're a receptor. You are a receiver of what is happening. We are connected to this planet, Mother Earth. Stop thinking things are more connected and wired, more connected than we realize. So we got to be more conscious of things, right? With different cycles and with these lunar cycles. All right, I'm gonna cut this transmission here. The video didn't cut off, but I always appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Stay well, stay safe, stay dangerous. Peace.